Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, y'all. So I am here. Thank you for jumping on. Listen, I got it, y'all. It's a Friday. I definitely want to make sure everybody knows. I really appreciate everybody that tunes in, live or the replay, for sure. I definitely appreciate y'all. As a matter of fact, as you come on, do me a favor and just jump in the chat, live chat, and if you're watching a replay, jump into the comments and let me know where you are tuning in from on this Friday or whichever day you're tuning in. Okay, let me know where you're tuning in from, man. Listen, I know I'm wanting to have conversations that we don't really have, right, as it pertains to trading. Like, we kind of gloss over stuff. It's not that we don't have the conversations, but they're not as in depth. And so one of those things that I want to touch on today and this month in general is trading trauma, because I am pretty sure that there have been plenty of us that have experienced it. So before we get into the whole trading trauma discussion and whatnot, we want to go and do this introduction and everything. And of course, housekeeping. As you can see, I got the wood line behind me because we are at a RV campground in Texas. I am loving the freedom that comes with having our tiny house and just being able to get up and go when we want. Man, y'all, it's a freedom that you can't. That's probably why I trade too. To be honest, because it's just the idea of I can move how I want to move and not someone else dictating it, if that makes sense. So anyway, for those who are new to this YouTube channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Leona Clark, and I am a Army veteran, retired Army veteran turned entrepreneur. I am married. My husband is about to join the retirement gang. So yeah, we have a 4-year-old together who might pop out here because she is very, very camera friendly. so so if she pop out here, y'all, I'm gonna get her back in the house. Just pay attention to me. All right. You know what I'm saying? She'll probably say hi and then she'll go on back in the house. So we have a 4-year-old and then also a soon to be 17-year-old as well who minds her business. She do her thing, and then I have goddaughters and fur baby, who you might hear, but I don't know. He might be good today because he done took his medicine, so he relaxing. But life has been good, and so I just wanted to share that. But going into entrepreneurship, which actually started with trading, going into that while I was still in the military, I want to share that with people. It wasn't easy. So when people see me today and they're like, "Oh, but you teach people how to trade," yeah, I hear you, but you have to start somewhere. 2018, I was still in the military. I was a first sergeant at the time, when I was learning how to trade in a foreign exchange market. So it's not like I had a lot of time on my hands. Anybody that's been in the Army specifically, what the schedule of a first sergeant look like, or you at least have an idea of what the schedule of a first sergeant looks like. And it's not like we got a whole bunch of time on our hands. And so learning that skill, or at least being exposed to it and starting to learn, pausing, losing money because you don't came back into it, pausing again, all of that stuff is natural to happen. So I want people to just keep these things in mind. Yes, I do trade full-time today, but I have not always been a full-time trader. Okay, so what I'm going to be sharing with you all today, some of those things I've personally had to overcome, and some of those things I'm continuously working on today, so that I don't fall into those emotional traps as a trader, because it's very easy for you to fall back into those things, right? Y'all, I've lost money, made money, all of that, but I've stayed the course because I really love trading, and I really love what it can do and has done for not just me, but other people that I know. It's a business, right, that doesn't require you to interact with people. I consider myself still to this day, even though I don't really say it, but I still consider myself to be an introvert. I like to be in the background, not even going to front. However, I have learned that I got to be obedient and listen. So sometimes, oftentimes, that calls me to step out of my comfort zone and being in my shell and being in the house or being whatever. And I step out, and like you see now, I'm on YouTube about to talk to you about trading trauma, right? So, but you don't have to directly deal with other people. You don't have to. You don't have to have employees in a traditional sense, right? There's no cap on how much money you can make in the trading world. And on top of this, with trading, it can be done anywhere in the world so long as you have access to the internet with your electronic device. So these are all attractive things to people like me, but it also can be a bad thing, or I wouldn't say a bad thing. I would probably say more so it could be one of those things that could hinder you, cripple you, temporarily or permanently, depending on you, because some people are not used to those things, so they are not familiar with how to move when you have that type of freedom, right? So we're gonna get into this housekeeping before we get into the trading trauma discussion. Okay, this part one. Don't forget, y'all, like this video. Okay, hit that thumbs up first for me, and then as things make sense and you like what you're hearing and whatnot, then you can hit the hearts and all that good stuff. And then of course comment, right? So if there's something that hit home with you, comment, share that, because there's probably someone else that's feeling the same way that you're feeling. Hence why I'm sharing this stuff today. Okay. Uh, Hit that subscribe button as well if you haven't done it already, and that notification bell for my people that are not part of the Prosperity Cause community yet, as far as being on my email list. Hit that notification bell so you know when I'm going live. Okay. Now, this is the thing. I'm going to ask, if you are a giving person, I want you to give by sharing this video to somebody that you know may be on the verge of giving up on trading. They were super excited about it at one point. They've stuck with it for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever, and they're just like, I just think it's a wrap for me. Okay, share this with them, because it may help them to see, number one, that they're not alone, but also they may be able to take some steps to get them back on track. Okay, so let's jump into this series of September titled Trading Trauma. We're going to start working on overcoming those psychological barriers for success. So part one, we're diving into understanding trading trauma, right? So if you hear that term, you're probably like, what is trading trauma, Leona? Well, at the end of the day, all this is just, emotional, psychological scars from significant financial loss or prolonged struggles in trading. I am pretty sure there is someone watching this either live or the replay that has been trading for at least 1 year, and they're like, man, this don't work for me. Man, I don't know if this is for me. Man, I don't know if I should keep doing this. Man, I lost this amount of money. Trust me, that is trading trauma, because now that loss is attached to feelings that are causing you to make different decisions. Okay, so the goal of this series, y'all, at the end of the day, is to just provide a better understanding of what all traders experience at some point in their trading journey. Okay, hearing the term trading psychology isn't clear enough for us. I've heard it multiple times, but I'm like, I get it, but I don't get it. We need examples of what it looks like, how it feels, but also we need steps to become better at identifying those emotional and psychological triggers when we're trading. So this is why addressing trading trauma in 2024 is crucial, because the modern trading environment has become very volatile. It's super fast paced and emotionally charged, more emotionally charged, I should say, than ever before. And here's why. If y'all are ready, let me know. Okay, if you're ready, I don't want to just keep going, man. Then you like, oh man. Now, if you're driving, don't type anything in the comments, okay, or in the chat, I should say. Just be here, be ready. Okay. But I want to give you 5 things that we want to pay attention to when we're talking about trading trauma in 2024. So here's why we're talking about this. Number one, there's an increased market volatility. Well, what does that mean, Leona? We're looking at economic uncertainty. Hence why I don't know if you all are, if any of you have been watching my Forex live market analysis on Sunday, but for the past almost 3 months, the US dollar has stayed in a stable position. It's not going up and it's not going down. What does that mean to me? Because I'm no economic major and guru or nothing, but what that means to me is people are not sure of what's to come, so they don't want to put money into something, but they also don't want to take from it, if that makes sense, right? So there's that economic uncertainty. There's inflation concerns. People talk about this all the time. You've heard it, you've experienced it. You went to the store for some eggs. They, nowadays you talking about $12 for some eggs. Like, where they do that at? Here now? You know what I'm saying? In certain cities across this country. So there's a lot of things that are changing today. We really need to pay attention to the global events that make the markets unpredictable as well. And that's leading to heightened emotional swings for traders. So we're attempting to adjust to what's happening all across the world because each country is impacted by this stuff. Okay, trauma from those past losses, y'all, can cause people to be hesitant. It can also trigger poor decision making in these type of conditions. So if you're not careful and you're not paying attention to what's going on, how you normally would go into the market, instead of adjusting, you're still doing the same old thing, but you're getting different results. You may need to lower in the forex market. You may need to lower your lot size for this period. Why? Because the market is moving a bit different in the United States, specifically because it's an election year. So going all the way in and being super aggressive may not be the right decision right now, depending on your emotional stability. These are things that you got to think about, because ultimately this can impact your decisions on what and when to invest in different markets as well. So this is not just pertaining to trading. Yes, the title is talking about trading trauma, but y'all, we can apply this to investment trauma, especially for my people who are investing in which market? The cryptocurrency market. If you've been burned or you feel you've been burned in the cryptocurrency market, trust me, there are people right now that's probably like, man, I'm not getting back into that crypto stuff because I lost X amount of dollars because this person said that they were going to flip my money and this company was supposed to do this and this and this. I get it, y'all. But at the end of the day, there are going to be ups and downs with every single market. We just have to be prepared for that. And we have to work through that trauma that we have experienced in these financial markets. But specifically right now, we're talking about trading. Okay. So that was number one. Number one was increased market volatility. Now, number two, if you are taking notes, we're talking about constant social media pressure. Remember, y'all, we want to talk about why this is important. Why should we be talking about trading trauma in 2024? Okay. Number two is constant social media pressure, because we have all of these different platforms where you got every person from all different types of walks of life talking about, what they're experiencing in the market as traders, what they are, predicting to happen, and so on and so forth and everything. Traders are being exposed to a heightened fear of missing out. You may have heard the term FOMO. Traders are experiencing that. On top of that, we're also experiencing a sensationalized market movement. So this all can amplify and lead to emotional trades. This will, when you're talking about emotional trades, this will lead to that inconsistency in profit. So if you're like, I don't understand, like, last year I was doing da 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 da, but this year it's like, I don't like. You got to look at what's going on and also where you are, right? So for those that are unclear too, let me clear this up about what sensationalized market movement means, because I want to be clear on this. All this is when, excuse me, when people or news sources make the changes in the market seem much bigger or more dramatic than what they really are. You hear it. That's with any type of news, y'all. But we're talking about trading. There are people that's going to over exaggerate things, saying things like, oh, the stock market is going to skyrocket. Crypto to the moon this year. Crypto is hitting, Bitcoin is hitting 100K this year. Let me tell y'all something. I'm not telling anyone what Bitcoin is going to do or what it ain't going to do, because I'm not God. But I looked at the charts, and with the tools that I have been taught to use, it's not showing me 100K in 2024. But at the beginning of 2024, we had all of these analysts saying that. Am I saying they're wrong? No, I'm not. What I'm saying is, with the tools that I use, the tools are not telling me 100K. Or they're saying, hey, the market is crashing. So now you're panicking, you're all over the place. And this could be like the situation might not even be that extreme. But at the end of the day, this can make traders feel scared or overly excited. And that causes them to make quick decisions without thinking carefully. So this is why, number two, that constant social media pressure does impact our trading trauma in 2024. And we want to make sure that we're aware of that, right? So if you have number two, you have number one, you have one and two down, then we're going to move on to number three. Remember, we have 5 of them, okay? Moving on to number 3, and that is our rapid technology advancements. Now, I don't know if you all are like people that are constantly on X. Let me start saying X. I'll be saying Twitter, but some people don't even say X. So Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, X, has a good number of people that I follow anyway. They are using AI and these algorithmic trading systems. These things are being more common today in 2024, and they are creating a competitive edge for tech savvy traders. But here's the thing, not everyone is tech savvy. So if you're not tech savvy, you may fall into that place where you feel left behind because you've experienced frustration or trauma, and that leads you to feeling overwhelmed by the evolving space of trading with the AI and those different trading platforms that you can use. Y'all, I will tell you this. If it's for you, you would do it. If it's easy for you to learn, you will learn it. But you don't have to put all of your eggs into those algorithm trading systems and whatnot. You don't have to. Can you test it out? Absolutely. But it's going to be okay. All right. Now, number 4. So we talked about 3 things so far. We're on number 4, which is financial uncertainty post-pandemic. Okay. So in this part, many traders have experienced or at least started trading during the pandemic's market boom, right? So you may have experienced significant losses when the market corrected. This goes to my people also who have invested in the cryptocurrency market. If you caught the tail end of that bull run in 2020, and then was it 2021? Yeah, the tail end in 2020, 2021 is when the market started to correct. So we're talking about in February, March, April, so on. Like in 2021, the beginning of 2021 is when the market started to correct. Now people are panicking again because they're like, well, is the bull run over? Or is there going to be a bull run? Or is crypto over? Right? All of these questions, y'all, listen. These type of experiences can trigger deep emotional wounds and causes fear of further engagement as a trader, but also as an investor. So you really have to be careful of how you're moving and when you're moving in the market. Again, paying attention to everything around you, and then also being honest with yourself about your risk tolerance, about your risk level, like everything pertaining to risk. Risk management is going to be your best friend as a trader and most definitely as an investor as well. Okay, so we got to pay attention to that. So that was number 4, financial uncertainty post pandemic. Now, number 5, this is our last one, and then we're going to go into some of the signs of trauma. But number 5 is mental health awareness. Now, in 2024, we all know there is a greater understanding of the importance of mental health in all areas of life. This includes trading, y'all. So addressing trading trauma is part of this broader conversation about well-being and resilience. There are people who have considered taking their life behind losing money from trading, from losing money as an investor. There are people who have actually followed through with taking their life because of losing money as a trader, because of losing money as an investor. We don't want that. I don't want that for anyone that is hearing my voice today. Whatever day it is that you're hearing my voice, I want you to be well equipped and know that dealing with trading trauma not only helps traders make clearer, more rational decisions, but it also helps foster long-term success and emotional stability. And this is in an increasing complex market environment, y'all. So again, this can apply to those that are investing in other high-risk investments like cryptocurrency. So don't leave yourself out if you are investing in something and you're not trading. This all applies to you as well. Okay. Now remember, y'all, in 2024, look, we're in this fast-paced society, and today's markets reflect just that. There's an increased volatility. We've already talked about post-pandemic inflation concerns and whatnot, and also social media influences that amplify these different pressures. So simply put, for my people who are like, Leona, what? What are you talking about? The world of trading is moving fast, okay? The prices of our stocks, currencies, cryptocurrency, okay? They all can change quickly and unexpectedly. All right. And this is partly because of the things that have happened after the pandemic, like the rising cost of living, okay, inflation, which makes everything from our groceries to gas more expensive. So these changes affect the economy and also how people invest their money. We need to pay attention to that. And on top of that, social media platforms, like I mentioned, TikTok, X, formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, all of these things can make things more stressful for traders because people often post their opinions or predictions about what's going on in the markets. And sometimes it makes things sound more dramatic than they really are. We talked about this, right? Who here has not experienced any of that? Where you are following somebody and there's like doom and gloom, right? Listen, there's nothing wrong with preparation. Like I had a whole recession readiness series. It's not to say, hey, right now we're experiencing a recession. No, you just want to be prepared. So whenever it is announced that there is a recession, you've already started doing the work. So you're not behind, right? So I know I've seen it. I've heard different people that just kind of fearmonger in a sense, but there are also people who are very realistic, who are very reasonable, and they share information just to make sure that you're prepared. And I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about there are other people out there that do that. But at the end of the day, if there is, if you're seeing the doom and gloom more frequently than you are the reasonable, you know what I'm saying, commentator and whatnot, this adds extra pressure on every single trader or to traders who aren't in that mental space yet to act quickly. And like I said, it can be overwhelming, especially when everyone is trying to guess what's going on, what's going to happen next. So all this creates a more intense environment for traders in 2024, making it important to deal with the stress of trauma, okay, that could come from it. So in a nutshell, y'all, that's why I believe personally this series is important. Before we, head into the holiday season and wrap up trading in 2024, you should be more equipped to reflect on your trading journey and then make the adjustments as you see fit to get back on track, to get back on the trading saddle in 2025 with minimal fear, anxiety, or worry after you have completed this series. Okay. This is not to say you about to go into 2025 and you about to dominate the charts and stuff. Do I want that for you? I absolutely do. But everyone's process is going to be different. Okay? Some is fast, some is moderate, some is very slow. Doesn't matter. Your process is your process. All right? So if you're still with me, if you're watching live or the replay, let me know by typing in the comments for my replay people or the chat for my live people. Type, I'm here, Leona. Let me know that you're still here. I can't see y'all on StreamYard right now, but it's all good. I'm pretty sure I'll see it later. Be like, oh, okay, and then I respond. Okay. But if this is helping you so far too, also let me know in the comments, even for those of you watching the replay. Okay. Don't forget to share this video if you're already gaining valuable information, because remember, y'all, it could be very helpful to someone else. All right. So let's get into the signs of trading trauma. All right. We're going to go over 5 things, 5 signs of trading trauma. We're not going to be long because I'm trying to see. Hold on 1 second. I need to see how many minutes I've been on. Okay, 25. So let me wrap this up. Okay. So 25 minutes. Let's go. Okay. So first sign of trauma is the fear of re-entering trades after a loss. Who has experienced this? If you've experienced this and you're watching replay and whatnot, if you've experienced this, put that, oh yeah, that's me. Fear of re-entering a trade. If you've ever experienced this in your journey, I can tell you, first of all, I have, but I can tell if you took a significant financial loss trading in the past, because now you just stay in your demo account. Like, you're like, yeah, you come up with every excuse, no matter what your results say in your demo account. Like, your results could be amazing in your demo account. You're still like, yeah, but I need more time. But it's not. If the results are there, all you need to do is just do the same thing you're doing in your demo account. Don't change anything. Here's what I know. When you have, and this is from personal experience, when you have experienced a significant financial loss as a trader, and then you go back into your demo account because you're like, hey, let me just analyze, these lessons that I've experienced. Like, how did I get to this point? If you blew an account before, like, meaning you put money into a broker account, your trading account, right? And you lost all of it. Okay. If you've blown that account, you may be like, I don't know. I want you may even be hesitant to enter trades in your demo account. Y'all, that's a sign of trading trauma. Is that you? Is it? I gotta go. Let me see if I could see this. Hold on. Okay, yeah. So I got one that said absolutely. There it is. That's a sign of trading trauma. We're gonna go over during this series. We're gonna go over some things to help you to be able to move past these things, right? So that's the first one, that fear of re-entering trades. Now, a second one could be overly conservative or overly aggressive trading. We all should know that trading is a high risk activity, of course. All right, we know that this is a high risk type of investment, right? With your money. But you can be too far to the left, but you can also be too far to the right due to the trauma. So I consider myself to be a risky conservative trader. Like, I know that there's risk involved. However, I move conservatively. So, like, I'm gonna give you an example. What does that mean, Leona? Like, I trade things that are more volatile in the market. I trade things like gold, NAS 100, which is the equivalent to the NASDAQ, right? In the stock market, I trade Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are like my main 4 things that I trade. People who are just starting out or have experienced some type of trading trauma and have not been able to work through it yet, they will be like, I can't do that. I can't do that. You can't. I got it. However, I know that there's a greater risk to it. However, I do move in a conservative manner because I understand that this is a bit more volatile. So that's why I jokingly say I'm a risky conservative trader. Right? I'm not overly conservative, but I'm not overly aggressive either. It's kind of like that teeter tottering and balancing on the fence type of thing. Like I'm managing on the fence. That's what I'm doing. Right? But not everyone can do that. There are some people who, because of their trading trauma, they may just be like, hey, I'm gonna stick at this very, very low lot size forever, even though the results is showing them back-to-back wins. They'll take a lesson, but then they're back-to-back wins again. They'll take a lesson, and then they're back-to-back wins again. They have the data to tell them that, hey, you're doing great. Whatever you're doing is working, but they're not ready to move in forex trading, move that lot size up a bit or put more into the market because they're like, no, because of that previous trauma. That's that being overly conservative. All right. So that was number 2 type of trauma, signs of trading trauma. Number 3 is the hesitation or inability to make decisions in real time. Who here has experienced this or is experiencing that today? I'm going to give you an example of what that looks like. Hesitation or inability to make decisions in real time. You see a setup according to your strategy, however you trade. You see a setup in the market, and instead of you making the decision right then, yes, I'm entering the market now, or I'm entering the market at the top of the hour, or I'm entering the market in the last 15 minutes of the hour, whatever it is, according to your strategy, instead of you making that decision and saying, this is when I'm entering the market, your response is, I'm going to wait to see how the market plays out. Because I know what my strategy tells me, but let me just see how this play out. Then when it plays out in your favor, you're like, see, I knew what I should have took that trade. No, you shouldn't, because you were indecisive. So you would have exited out that trade. You would have made a mistake, and then it would have resulted either in a loss or you would have cut yourself out of profit. So no, you shouldn't have. You only take trades when you are confident in the probability of that setup. That's it. Not, I'm confident I'm going to make a boatload of money. It's, hey, listen, my strategy says X, Y, and Z. Boom, this is what it is. I'm taking the trade. Whatever happens from it, I'm going to collect the data off of it. So that's number 3. That's the third sign of trading trauma: hesitation or inability to make decisions in real time, to actually take the trade. Number 4 is stress, anxiety, or panic when analyzing the charts. Who here has been like, I thought I knew what to do when I'm looking at it, but I'm drawing a blank right now. You literally just learned how to mark up your charts. You literally just learned about the top-down analysis. You got told, man, it's great. The way you do that, yep, you got it down. You literally just learned how to place your field because I taught you, right? And you went through the course with me. And I said, yep, that's exactly how you place it. But you're second-guessing yourself. You're overthinking it. You know what I'm saying? You're telling yourself what you can't do. That's trading trauma. Trading trauma. You're creating unnecessary stress on yourself. You're being overly anxious. And then the panic. You can't trade in those conditions. You shouldn't. Let me rephrase that. You should not be trading under those conditions. Okay? Now, here's the last thing, y'all. I will say. When it comes to signs of trading trauma, you may be that person that's like, hey, listen, I've seen too much. I've heard too much. I follow these people on TikTok. I've listened to these people on X in these X spaces, right? I've watched these people on YouTube. They've done these pump and dumps, like especially in cryptocurrency. For all my people who've been burned by crypto, if you've been burned by crypto in your mind, right? If you feel that you've been burned by crypto, say me. Say me. I've been burned by crypto, right? Whether it's a person, a company, whatever it is. Pump and dump simply means that you have this over, excitement about this cryptocurrency, whatever it may be. So people are hyping it up big time, like, yeah, everybody's buying into Terra. We're buying the Terra because yada, yada, yada. They're giving all these reasons why you need to buy into Terra. And then once the price hits a certain area, the people on the inside, massive sell-off. And the people who aren't in the know have now lost their investment. That happens with trading, which is stop hunts, right? Our financial institutions do that. If you want to know more about stop hunts and you have not learned about that, stay close, okay? But stop hunts is a really big thing when it comes to trading. This can lead to emotional trades when you are working through all of that stuff, all of that trading trauma. If you're not actively working on that and being aware of it and making the adjustments daily, you will more than likely make poor decisions going into the market. And that will contribute to you continuing to lose money in the market. And ultimately, you may step back from trading, right? I've had people say, yeah, I got to take a step back because, I've lost a lot of money and whatnot, which, hey, listen, do what you need to do to make sure your mental health is good. All right. But I've heard this. I got to step back, man, because I lost so much money. I blew. I'm just going to throw a number out. Man, I blew like 10 accounts. I lost like $50,000 and, or I paid $90,000 for this course. And, I didn't make any money. And, I put, 50,000 into this company and they were supposed to multiply my money. And, this trading algorithm system or whatever, it was supposed to do this and it didn't. And that 50K is gone. I hear you. I hear you. But here's the thing. Do you want to stay in that position where you feel paralyzed and then ultimately just quit on investing, quit on trading when you enjoyed it in the beginning? You saw yourself being successful. Do you want to really just quit on that whole idea? Or do you want to say, let me work through this so I can get back to that place? And then I can actually be that person that I saw 6 months ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, however long you've been trading in or investing, right? I need you to think about that, okay? So those are our signs of trading trauma. We are about to wrap it up. I got one more thing before I give you some homework. Yeah, you're gonna get homework, man. You can't have this type of conversation and then it just end. Nah, you're gonna get some homework with me. Okay. So the last thing we want to talk about today in this particular part of the series is initial steps to address your trauma. Number one, I'm going to challenge you to acknowledge the trauma. Okay. That's the first step, is recognizing emotional responses tied to past trading experiences. So any of those signs of trauma, trading trauma that you said, yes, that's me. Absolutely, that's me. Oh yeah, that I did that. I'm still experiencing that today. Whatever it is, whichever one it is for you, now it's time for you to really sit down and be like, well, how did I get to that point? What was I doing? How was I feeling? What were some of my results? How did I get to that point? And then the second step to that, to addressing the trauma, is reassessing your why. I know it may seem corny to some people. I understand. Okay. When I first started out trading, because I was in this trading company and it was a network marketing trading company, but they would always talk about, remember your why. And I was like, oh, what is this? What are y'all talking about? But all it is just remembering what motivated you to start trading in the first place. What motivated you to start investing in that thing in the first place? Whether it's crypto, whether it's real estate, whatever it is, what motivated you to get started? Think about that. Is that still relevant today? Because when you go back and reassess your why, if it's not still relevant today and it's all about me, not there are people tied to this, then yes, it's easier for you to quit when there's no one else tied to your success in this particular lane. Yeah, you don't want to hear that, right? I know. I didn't want to hear it. Okay. But that's the truth. If everything is about just you, and there is no one else hanging in the balance of you being successful at this thing, just like we need to be successful in our jobs because we are believing in this job security. Well, you get up every single day. You make sure that you're on time. You make sure that your uniform or your clothes look neat. You're giving your best with customer service, even when people working your last nerve. Why though? There's something tied to you making sure that you keep that job. There are people that are impacted besides just you. You ever thought about that? Same thing when it comes to trading. Same thing when it comes to investing. Reassess why in the world you wanted to do it in the first place. If your why has changed, then that's what it is. Is that why strong enough for you to say, I want to come back to trading? If it's not, then guess what? Trading is not for you. It's all good. Keep pushing. But if you're like, no, like, I know why, and it's still the same, and I really want to get it, then now you have to work through that trauma, okay? This is our third step to address trauma, your trading trauma. Third step, journal your emotions post trades. I tell everybody, whether you win or you take a lesson, any person that has gone through any of my courses, boot camps, whatever, I tell every single one of them, always go back and look at how the trade played out. Number two is ask yourself, with what I see today, right now, trade has already played out. Would I have entered this trade? Honestly, would I have entered this trade again? If your answer is yes, then that's more than likely just market conditions. If your answer is no, it's because you have made a decision based on some type of trading trauma. It's that simple. I know it don't feel like it, but it is that simple. It was either market conditions because you're like, no, I would have ended that trade again. Or you're like, nah, I wouldn't have done it. Well, why wouldn't you? Why did you enter that trade knowing when you looked at it right now, you wouldn't have entered that trade looking at it this time? Why did you enter it? There was some type of trading trauma associated with that decision. You're going to take lessons in the market because you can't control it. But if you're going back and you're analyzing and you're saying to yourself, I wouldn't have entered that trade, that's you. That's not the market. Address your trading trauma, right? So here's your homework. Y'all ready? Are you ready for your homework assignment? So we've talked about a lot pertaining to trading trauma, understanding trading trauma, right? So I'm going to just give y'all a quick recap before I give you your homework, and then we're going to close this out. So we talked about, what is trading trauma? We talked about the goal of this whole series, okay? We've talked about why it's important to address trading trauma in 2024 with that increased market volatility. We talked about constant social media pressure, all of these people, these gurus and whatnot on all of these different platforms telling you what you should do and what you shouldn't do as a trader. And, the doom and gloom that comes right now where you better start trading and everything. No. Okay. We talked about that. We talked about the technological advancements in trading. We talked about financial uncertainty post-pandemic. We've also talked about, mental health awareness. Okay. That is important with trading as well. And then also I gave you a few signs of trading trauma. Now that you have those signs of trading trauma, you have your initial steps to address your trading trauma. Now here's your homework. Okay. I'll give y'all some time so you can write this down. If you need to watch the replay, watch the replay. Okay. But I need you to journal. Okay. Just like I've talked about before, journaling is going to help you with everything in life. Writing stuff down is very powerful. We're not going to remember everything, but writing it down and then going back and reading it a week later, a month later, 6 months later, a year later, you get to see if you have grown, if you have improved, if you've made the adjustments you said you wanted to make, or if you're still making the same decisions that is keeping you in the same position. This is why it's important to write things down. Write it down. So we're going to do some journal reflection, right? We're going to write down 3 past trading experiences where emotional trauma was triggered. Okay. So what do I mean by emotional trauma triggered? You probably panicked. You were worrying. You probably got angry at the market and you revenge traded. Okay. Write those things down. And I want you to reflect on how each situation has affected your trading mindset and what emotions arise when recalling these moments. So as you play it back, do you have that same feeling? Or is there a different feeling? Do you have a different emotion? So if you were revenge trading at that time and this is what caused you to blow your account, meaning lose the money that you put into the market, right? If you were angry at the time, but now you're like, dog, you kind of like, I can't believe I did that. A bit of disbelief. Like, I can't believe that I sat here and I, like retaliated on the market. Like, what was I thinking? If your thought is different, that's good. Write that down. Because to be honest, that's growth. It may not feel like it. It may not look like it, but trust me, that is growth. Because you're not re-triggered and you're not angry again. You're feeling something different, and now you're able to make some adjustments. Okay, so that's your homework assignment. Journal reflection. I need you to write down 3 past trading experiences where emotional trauma was triggered. I want you to reflect on how each situation, I'm repeating this again for my people who just joined. I want you to reflect on how each situation has affected your trading mindset and also what emotions arise when recalling these moments. If it's the same emotions, okay. If it's different, okay. Write it down though. All right. So with that being said, we have completed the first part of this series. And I hope that you really gain some value. If you gain some value from it watching live or the replay, if you gain some value, type the word value in the comments. Type the word value in the comments. And if you know, yeah, man, I'm doing the homework, or I have those signs of trauma and whatnot, share this video with someone that has been experiencing some emotional trauma as a trader, okay, or still working through it today. We all can help each other out. Each one of our situations can help the next person, because none of us have experienced everything when it comes to trading, but each one of us sharing our own journey with the next person can help someone else to either avoid those same pitfalls or have a better idea of how to get out of that type of trading trauma that they're experiencing at the time. Okay, so listen, y'all, before we close this out and I see y'all next week, I want to remind you all there is a sale going on because my birthday is coming up. September is my birth month, right? And so I want to celebrate that with you all, those who have been riding with me for a minute, those of you that are new and you like, you know what, I just want to test some stuff out because I feel like trading may be for me. There are things to help out people who have never ever traded before. That's my day trading one-on-one. This is for y'all. You getting the basics of trading, and it's at your pace. Okay, it's at your pace. So you open it up, you do the work when you have the time. There's no timeline on when you're gonna have to complete it. Okay, it's totally up to you. That's 80% off. Okay, for the month of September. This is the most I have ever given off for day trading one-on-one. It is. It's the most I've given out for that. So I would say if you're interested, if you're like curious about trading, or if you want to get back into trading, but take your time and not pay a lot of money, this would definitely be perfect for you. There's a link in the description of this video. Click on that, okay? And click and select Day Trading 101, okay? Because it's 30 days of information you're getting every single day over a 30-day period pertaining to trading for my people who are beginners or people who just like, hey, I want to scratch what I learned and I want to start over. Okay, there it is, because that's what I had to do. I had to scratch it and I had to start over, right? So sometimes that's what you need to be able to get to where you want to be. And then also, this is for my people who are super serious now. I'm telling y'all, this is not for everybody. There are very, very, very limited slots for the one-on-one with me. I have not done this type of discount ever. Ever. We're talking about 40% off of the one-on-one. That is very, very limited. And y'all, this ain't for anybody that just said, oh yeah, when I fill out the survey and whatnot, I'm gonna get it. No, you're gonna be vetted, because just like you may feel like I'm the teacher for you, I have to make sure that you're the student for me. Because the last thing I personally want is for us to spend time together and you realize that you're not ready for this type of training, because it's personalized and it's gonna be according to your schedule. So that means there won't be any excuse as to you being able to complete the stuff, because it's gonna be done according to your schedule. You're gonna make when we go live and start training. Okay. But this is very, very selective. And like I said, the slots are extremely limited, because this is the end of the year for me anyway. And I'm in my full out student mode right now. So I'm only doing this for a very, very small number of people. So if you are like dead serious on like, no, I want to start from scratch, Leona, like just teach me one-on-one. Group settings is cool, but I need that one-on-one time or whatever. Click the link and select the one-on-one intensive trading boot camp. That's a 6-week trading program that's personalized for you. And also, we will only hold the sessions according to your schedule. All right. And that is very unique. So, like I said, you have to be the right student for me, because I have to be the right teacher for you. All right. So those are the things that I want to share with people that are on sale right now. There are other things that are coming up, but those are the 2 things that I want to make sure y'all got. Click the link in the description of this video, read over it, and then make a decision. I'm not here to tell you what you need to do. If I'm not the teacher for you, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to get back into trading, you need to find someone who speaks directly to you and helps you to understand what you are looking for in the trading space. Okay. So that's all I have. If you are going to be getting back into the trading space, trading world, then join me Sunday. I'm looking at the markets on Sunday. Now, that's totally free. Looking at the markets on Sunday, you can see how I trade for free on Sundays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Pacific for my West Coast people. I have to say that slow every single time. So if y'all want to tune in, hit that notification bell. All right. If you have not already, hit that notification bell and you can join me on Sunday night. And then that way you can see how I trade. And then, of course, I give things that I'm looking at according to my trading system. Right. And then you go from there. Okay. So that's all I have. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. Be easy on yourself. Give yourself a little grace. Be patient with yourself. Acknowledge that trauma. Work through that trauma. Take your time. Don't look at how fast somebody else is doing anything. I need you to stay in your lane. Okay. Stay in your lane. You're going to get where you want to be when it's time for you to get there, because you have your own journey to take. Okay. So that is it. That's all I have. Last thing before we wrap, remember my favorite quote from the tennis legend Arthur Ashe. He said to start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. You got this. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you hopefully Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Pacific. Bye, y'all.